This video is going to be a short guide on the RTX 3000 series graphics cards of what you should and shouldn't buy, and comparing them. And I'm also going to be including the RTX 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti, which even though they're not out yet, are pretty much leaked. So if you want to see information on that, then it's just stick around for the video. But we're going to start things off with the RTX 3060. 3060 MSRPs for about $330. Keep in mind that it's pretty hard to get any of these in stock, and let alone for MSRP. Would say in the future when you can actually get these, this guide might actually be pretty helpful. Now the RTX 3060, just for reference, is about a 2060 Super, maybe a 1070 Ti, or even a 1080, or an RX 5700 XT type of card. So if you could find those for a similar price to this, that's great. And you're not really giving anything up. The RTX 3060 is kind of interesting if you compare it to the 3060 Ti, because the 3060 Ti is actually pretty close to like a 2080 Super, and it's only $70 cheaper to get a 3060. So why would you not spend an extra $70 MSRP, of course, to get a 3060 Ti? Makes no sense. Also, don't be fooled. I know that on the 3060 Ti, you're having a lower clock speed and also less VRAM, but quite honestly, the VRAM does not make a difference at the resolutions you'll be playing games at with these 60 series cards. And the 3060 Ti is so much faster and much better value than the 3060. The 3060 just does not make sense to me, since it's only a little bit better than like a 2060 Super, and a 3060 Ti is basically a 2080 Super, and that's a huge difference between those two. The 3060 Ti, in my opinion, has one of the best values of the entire 30 series family, so I would recommend that if you can. Now, 3060s are kind of expensive. It depends. Some are actually over $500, which is pretty insane. Definitely do not buy these for $500. There's just really no point to that, unless you're really like desperately need a 3060 for some reason. You can find them for cheaper, like this EVGA one, or even these are, some of these are pretty good, like the ASUS Dual. That's probably a good bet. But as you see that I know that the Gaming X Trio is a pretty high-end card, but $540 for a 3060 is just not, and it's not that it's even in stock anyway. The 3060 Ti is pretty close to 3070, and it was actually pretty hard for me to decide which one I wanted to go for myself. I have a 3070, by the way. In terms of specs, the 3070 does get a higher clock speed, and also about 1,000 more CUDA cores, which is significant. And the memory is about the same. There's a few other differences with like shader, RT cores, whatever. 3060 Ti, about a 2080 Super, 1080 Ti, 6700 XT, that kind of stuff. While a 3070 is more like a 2080 Ti or an RX 6800. Now the 3070 is $100 more MSRP. And quite honestly, at this point, if you get either of these for close to MSRP, they're both great. I wouldn't really worry about either one. The 3060 Ti is better value, but the 3070 is a really great card, and in some cases, you'll be like, I feel like for 1440p gaming at demanding games, 3070 is probably a sweet spot. Either of these cards are really great though. They're something like equivalent to the highest end of the 20 series, so keep that in mind. 3060 Ti pricing right now is kind of not great. What's funny is that 3060 Ti Aorus Master over there is almost as much as what I paid for my 3070 Aorus Master. So prices have definitely worsened. Hopefully, some point soon they get better, but sadly, not right now apparently. Here you can see there is a couple that are kind of close to MSRP, but these are really low-end 3060s. I mean 3060 Ti, sorry. The Ventus is just not a good card. Like, it's really not. And $530, absolutely ridiculous for a Ventus, especially a 2X. But like an ASUS Dual would be okay. But geez, some of these are really like 3080 type. If only you could get a 3080 for this price. These are actually 3070s, and these are like 250 above MSRP. Obviously, with AIBs it's different, but it's incredible how a few months ago that Aorus Master 3070 I got for $650. Now it's $800. So yeah, that really does suck, doesn't it? I would honestly suggest waiting for prices to normalize, but it depends on your use case. However, between the 3060 Ti and 3070, 3060 Ti has better value. 3070 is really nice, and it's only $100 more, so if you want it, you can get it. Now, the 3070 Ti is basically a leak at this point. MSRP is to be announced, basically, but if I were to guess, it would probably be around 550 or 600, because remember, the 3070 is 500, the 3080 is 700. The 3070 Ti isn't that much faster than the 3070. The main difference, obviously, CUDA core is a little bit different, RT is a little bit different, etc. But the main difference is that on the 3070 Ti, you're getting 8 gigabytes of GDDR6X, which is actually a lot faster memory bandwidth, which is pretty good. But they're both still on a 256-bit bus, so the 3080 is quite a bit better. Personally, we don't really know that much about the 3070 Ti yet, but depending on the price, of course. But I would say just go for a 3080. You're getting a lot more CUDA cores, you're getting a lot more RTs, and you're getting we don't know the clock speeds of the 3070 Ti, but it's probably pretty close. And of course, you're getting extra VRAM and a much higher bus bandwidth as well, for probably not that much more. So I would recommend the 3080. It's MSRP of 700, which is absolutely insane. It's up to twice the performance of a 2080, but in most games it's not. It's pretty similar to the RX 6800 XT, although it does definitely beat it. And getting this thing for anywhere near $700 would be a miracle right now. Sadly, I don't think that's going to be very possible. I've seen these for $1,000. I've seen these for much more than $1,000. Current pricing, yeah, it's around $1,000 on like Newegg. If you were to go to eBay, then probably like double that up to. It definitely depends on the card. Some are going to be very expensive. And then 3080 Ti is interesting. It's going to be, honestly, in my opinion, a 3090 with half the VRAM. Let me go through it. You're getting a little bit less on the CUDA core count, but when you're already at 10,000, it barely makes a difference in my opinion. Of course, RTs, everything are cut down just a bit. It's the same GA102 core as the 3090. It's going to have lower clock speed than the 3080 or the 3090, but I don't think that's going to be a very big difference when it's just so close. It's supposed to be $1,000. I'd say good luck getting it for that. Obviously, it's to compete with the 6900 XT in terms of price and, of course, performance, and it has half the VRAM of the 3090, of course, which is interesting. It's basically what I would call a 3090 with half the VRAM for 2/3 the price. So, in my opinion, much better deal than the 3090. I'm not sure if it's gonna be worth it over the 3080 for $300 to get that extra 2 gigs of VRAM, although, of course, 3090 level performance most likely. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. We don't really know that much about it yet, other than the on-paper specs. But on paper, it looks like a 3090, pretty much. And then, of course, you do have the 3090, the best video card out there, kind of similar to the 6900 XT, but 3090 most of the time would beat it. You just gotta remember that it cost $1,500 MSRP, and I've seen them for way more than that. So, good luck. That's all I'm saying. A lot of them are $2,000. Of course, these are high-end models. Some lower-end ones, still very expensive. I would recommend not getting a 3060. 3060 makes no sense to me. The 3060 Ti is only a little bit more, and it's a lot faster. Trust me. The 3060 Ti is great value. It's one of the best. It's about a 2080 Super, and for only like $400 MSRP, of course. 3070, it's better. I don't have a 3060 Ti. I can't compare them myself. You can watch reviews, but personally, they're both great options. The 3080 has really great price to performance, although it's going to be more expensive than people would like, especially with current pricing. But if you can afford it, it is a beast of a card. You could play just about anything at 4K with very high settings and frame rates. And then, of course, I would say if you're going to buy a 3090, maybe wait to see the 3080 Ti, how it does. It's basic. If you don't need 24 gigs of VRAM, the 3080 Ti is a great alternative. And personally, the 3070 Ti, in my opinion, is basically a 3070 with faster VRAM. That's about it. Of course, we don't really know those yet. We don't have any reviews. We don't have any performance charts on them. We only have these on-paper specs that were leaked by video cards. But it looks like the 3070 Ti and 3080 could be, 3080 Ti could be interesting options. Although, personally, my favorites would be the 3060 Ti and 3080, just in terms of what would be appealing to me. So anyway, hopefully that helps some of you. If you want me to do a video like this on the RX 6000 series, I could. But there are a few less models. So anyway, let me know what you guys think.